Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, I am Sean the Game Reviewer as always, and sometimes a game is just too damn big to try and tackle on your own. So that's why I've brought with me my friend Mr. Bryce. Say hello again.
Howdy, hey gang.
And today we're obviously going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11. Now, I've got plenty to say and not all of it's super great, but as always, we are just two gamers, and this is our honest opinions. Now, that being said, there's a lot about this game that I like, and a lot that I really don't like. Let's go ahead and get us into a fight, if you would, since you have the controller.
Absolutely.
Now, I'll go ahead and start off with the visuals, because that should be the most obvious when we get into the match. Personally, I really like these games. You gotta sync me in, please. Oh, I gotta sync me in. And the graphics upgrade has been nothing if not absolutely grand looking.
The character model is beautiful, the gore's great.
Oh yeah.
Backgrounds are distracting.
They can be, but at the same time, I like the way they look fleshed out and good. Not sure why I'm getting my ass stomped there. There we go. Kotal Khan's kicking his ass. And for that, honestly, what we show should speak for itself. The lighting looks almost perfect. The character models look interesting, I'll say that. And I think the biggest thing that I have to tackle right now is the costumes that they've created for predominantly the female characters, let's say. Now, there were some issues with some people saying that Mortal Kombat shouldn't be as grown up or as mature as what they're saying that it is. And part of me agrees, and they really did tone down the costumes a lot from what they were. I remember it when it was basically just a bunch of people in bizarre little leotards running around kicking each other because they had two people as a character model. So it's come a long way from that, and for that I am thankful. And really, I kind of look forward to where they go, because I honestly really like the female character models in this, how it looks like armor now. It really appears as though they went the extra mile and actually... You're just gonna fight like that, huh? Okay. They went the extra mile and made it look like actual combat armor, not a bunch of skimpy bikini areas trying to just show off skin for skin's sake. And while part of me likes that, at the same time, this is Mortal Kombat. Immaturity is what this thing is based on. And it should never, ever really put on airs. If we want to go the more mature route, then we're going to have to get rid of all the blood just pouring out of people. If you want to go the mature route, there's not going to be a guy standing here with a laser eye that he can shoot me with while he fights a god in another dimension.
I mean, well, it's literally the only option I can think of that is a trying to be a more sensible. I mean, if you wanted the skimpy silliness, I mean, there's an entire fighting series devoted to that, like Dead or Alive, or I mean, God, look at Soul Calibur.
Well, that's always a counter argument, and how those have always succeeded well in their area. Despite that, however, I would kind of like to see it to where this is just, that is an option still, where you can have a secondary option where you have the skimpy outfits. Make the main option the version that they come with, and let that be.
Get a finisher in here.
Yeah, we'll show off a.
It's been something we've been messing around for a little bit.
Yeah, try holding the trigger and pressing the button then.
Face like a drop pie. Let's go for that one.
All right, do it. You gotta get right up next to me. Nope, here we go. Here we go. It wins. Oh, never mind.
Damn it! That is so frustrating.
Yeah. It comes and goes, but like I say, it would be nice if the option was there. Mortal Kombat has never been something I saw as slick or shiny. Grotesque, abhorrent, and above all, just absolutely reveling in the immaturity. That is the Mortal Kombat that I love. Go ahead and select a new character. We'll continue from here.
All right.
And with the whole we're trying to be more mature about it, just really kind of seems disingenuous. I'll show off one of the ones that I'm talking about primarily. Jackie Briggs is... I absolutely love her outfit in this. It looks super stupid, but at the same time, it looks like something that a fighter of the future might wear. And for that, I kind of enjoy it. But at the same time, I do kind of wish that bizarre immaturity were still in the game. I understand why they took it out, and I don't begrudge them for it. It's a lose-lose no matter how you do it. But at the same time, it would be a little nicer if they just kind of admitted it all and left that in there for the people who do want it.
It's a surprising considering. It's a surprising decision considering it's not a stance they necessarily took with like the Injustice games.
Right.
I mean, tried slightly, but they're still more or less relatively skimpy.
No, Harley Quinn is absolutely just complete and total skimp attire in that. Well, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the controls, which I shouldn't have to elaborate on too much. I mean, this is Mortal Kombat, for God's sake. The controls have never been tighter on this. That being said, it is really easy to cheese your way into a victory. As you can see, somebody is basically just button mashing over there. And
hey, if it works, it works.
Well, that's kind of the issue. Now, while you do have the fatal blows here, which are an excellent way to try and even the score, and personally, I really do like them a lot. They're very, very cool. At the same time, they feel a little off, especially when you state into the fact that what just happened should have killed the character, just flat out. And so having it as a finisher, I think, would work a lot better. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the simplified controls. Now, this is just one set of the moves right here. Special moves right here. Now, this is just for me. This is just for Jackie Briggs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks and a fatal blow. Now, while they each have a different variation on them, it's still only 5 real moves. Now, I'll grant you, I do have the finishers, but still, that's low. And it really just kind of feels weird having practically no moves to speak of.
And it would be something that I would say would be forgivable if we were dealing with a much thicker roster.
Yes.
But at release, that's not what we have currently.
Yes. That being the other side of this, let's go ahead and get into the roster because that will segue into the story portion after a bit, which, unfortunately, while it is a decent character roster, it is kind of just there. Let's see if I can find one here. Spider-Mine's nothing but neck. Oh, that sounds nasty.
Yeah, nothing but neck sounds good. Maybe you gotta hold both down. Damn it.
I tried, and it still wouldn't let me. Okay, so there you have it. Easy fatalities. Apparently not so easy.
Or we're just really inept.
That or we're just terrible. That is always a possibility. Never discount my terribleness when it comes to playing video games, because I do suck at a lot of things. And let's go ahead and go back to the character menu real quick, and we can show you what we're talking about. Now, in just playing the story game, I've unlocked the only unlockable character, which is Frost. The only other blank spot there belongs to Shao Kahn, who you have to buy. And that just kind of sucks. Everything else you have to unlock through the crypt, and even then, it's only just skins and various little doodads upon your person to make them look slightly more different than the other ones. Now, that'd be all fine and good if the only way to actually get all that was through playing the game. Unfortunately, it's not, and that's where one of my big beefs comes into play. It's our old friend, microtransactions! Yay! Everybody cheer! Microtransactions! Nobody else cheering? Okay.
Back in full force for this one.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a big pet peeve I have with stuff like this. This should not be a microtransaction heavy game. If you want to release more content, that's fine. I don't have a problem with DLC. If it were able to be earned quicker in-game, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's the same issue I had with Devil May Cry 5's microtransactions, where it artificially inflates the grind. I am no longer knowing whether or not I am getting the best to my abilities, or whether or not the game just simply wants me to have spent more money. And that just bothers me. Now, as always, that just leads up to everyone's personal interpretation, and I will freely admit that. But at the same time, I do ask that they understand if mine comes across the way it does. That being said, with nothing else left to do, let's go ahead and get into the story and talk about it. And it's a reboot. I'm just gonna say it. There's nothing shy about it. The game, without getting too deep into spoilers, it really does start to hint to the point that this is no longer going to be continuing this storyline, which part of me understands, because you do have a long lineage going with this, and there's a lot of convoluted story plots going for this game that are kind of all culminating. I mean, we get the return of the Cyberlin, we get the return of Cyrax and Cyrax and Sector, sorry. And while I will admit it has been needing a distinct upgrade for a while now, I wouldn't say it needed to go full-on reboot.
I mean, these games are never going to be known for their story, so...
No, but at the same time, it would be nice if they had something more creative going for them other than, oh, this time wizard came out of nowhere and it's time to restart everything. Which, part of me always hoped that they would continue and introduce more new characters rather than just go back and hold the ones they had, like they have been doing, and unfortunately they do in this. It just kind of seems like they've run out of ideas, for lack of a better term for it. And it's just kind of not fun. Ow. That being said, like you said, nobody really plays these games for the story, so it's not a big problem for that. And if that were all it were, I'd be okay with it. Excuse me. I'd be okay with it. Unfortunately, it's not anymore. Everything's always about having more, being larger, gaining more. And as usual, we're not talking about giving the player more. It unfortunately all flows back to simply having more money for the publisher. And I just don't think it's worth it anymore. Honestly, for everything this game does right, there's an equal, if not greater amount, that it does wrong or harmfully. Well, no, harmfully bad. I don't have a better word for it. And for that, my recommendation, honestly, just borrow this one.
Yeah, I was going to say a rent. It's definitely got a rent vibe.
It doesn't really have enough going for it to justify it being a full-fledged purchase, especially if you're a fan. It seems like more of a minor expansion to Mortal Kombat 10 than it does its own full-fledged new game. And with it just being a simple reboot of everything, it just kind of stinks. But, as always, these are just our opinions. What did you guys think? Oh, what did you think, Bryce? You haven't talked much during this.
Visually, yes. Visually, it's captivating. These games to me have never been a go back to a lot unless you're just hanging out with friends. So 3 days is about the time I would spend on one of these anyways. I would beat the story mode, I would mess around a lot, and then unless somebody came over and wanted to play it, that's probably about the next time I would pick it up again.
Right.
Doesn't mean that these are bad games, but
no,
I'm
this is
comfortable with it because that's the amount of investment I was looking for in it anyways.
Right. Somebody once said, it's a minor miracle every time a game gets published at all, and I will wholeheartedly agree with that. And I don't want this to sound like I'm disparaging against the development team. They work their asses off, and that has been more than set as evident, especially in light of the accusations that have been leveled against NetherRealm lately in the news, with them having almost a constant crunch on this game alone. I don't want it to come off like I'm bad-mouthing them. Like I say, they work their asses off. This game is a tight, fun, good-looking, sleek game. It just has a bunch of really, really bad things shoved in with everything that's good. And that makes me all manner of sad. But, as I said before, these are just our opinions. What did you guys think? Do you like Mortal Kombat 11? Sorry, almost said 10. Do you think it's worth $60? Let us know down in the comments below. And as always, have a good one. You ready to go another round?
Let's end on a Sub-Zero Scorpion
just for old time's sake. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Sub-Zero Scorpion. Shirai Ryu Fire Garden.
One more time, Hanzo.
You never learn.
A man's never too old to learn.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight. Finish him. Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.